You can't always trust what NBA analysts predict before or after the NBA draft. Stephen A. Smith said DeAndre Ayton will be a better player than Luka Doncic before the 2019 draft. If you have no idea about that take, watch my previous video on Stephen A. Smith's predictions on these European players. Prior to the 2009 draft, Stephen Curry's name was picking up steam because of the year he had in Davidson College. Everyone wanted to see Steph Curry because of how he shot the ball and how he would go on a tear shooting from deep. But he was considered a ball hog, poor defender, a tweener because his shot selection was questionable and he was lanky in frame. Stephen Curry was compared to Mike Bibby, JJ Redick, and Daniel Boobie Gibson. It was understandable though because Steph was still a rookie and not many NBA teams wanted a 6'3" skinny guard to be their franchise cornerstone. To get a better understanding of the absurd claims by NBA analysts, I made this video on what these analysts said about Steph Curry before and after the draft. In this video, we will go in depth on why they said that and what was their statement after Steph proved them wrong. But before that, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and smash that notification bell to get updates on my latest NBA content. Let's set up the story first by going back to 2009 when Stephen Curry was working out with teams prior to the NBA draft. The NBA at that time was a little different. Back then, Kobe and LeBron were still fighting for who was the best player in the league. The Boston Celtics were the defending champions after years of not winning a chip, and teams would build around big guys and forwards rather than small guards, which you see quite often in the NBA today. The first one is not an analyst, but LeBron James. One day he decided to text Steph saying, "Good luck on your game tonight. I'm going to try to come to the game," as Davidson was going to play NC State back in December of 2008. He did show up and had only praises for Steph. He just went out and played. He wasn't going to let anything, as far as the analytics go when it comes to size, power, strength, and speed, stop him from what he was able to do. On a first-half play, when the shot clock was winding down, Steph hit a long three-pointer and pointed to LeBron as if he was saying, "That's for you." LeBron stood up and cheered with the Davidson crowd. After the game, Steph appreciated his reactions and said, "It was cool to watch someone like him cheering for our team." Fast forward a few years, and LeBron had a courtside view of how good Steph was after they played in 4 straight finals, where Curry's Warriors won 3 titles. Now this next one, I didn't get the name of the analyst, but he asked Monta Ellis, former Warriors star, on Media Day, "Could you see yourself and Steph playing in the backcourt together?" He was not thrilled having him on the team. "I and Curry can't play on the court together." I know the analyst only wanted a story, but it made the situation awkward because Ellis didn't agree with how the Warriors were going about as a franchise. He knew that his future with the team was in jeopardy. It took some time for Ellis to warm up to Steph. His wife asked him to apologize, and eventually they played the season together. The following season, Ellis was traded, I guess his hunch was right all along, to the Milwaukee Bucks for Andrew Bogut, Steven Jackson, and a first-round draft pick. Can you imagine if the Warriors stayed with Ellis and Steph Curry? They wouldn't have had the chance of getting that pick, which turned out to be Klay Thompson. Kenny Smith, a former NBA champ and three-point shooter for the Houston Rockets back when they won back-to-back titles in '94 and '95, now turned analyst on the show NBA on TNT, had this to say about Steph before the draft. "It was either boom or bust for the kid. I compare him to Eddie House or Mark Price at best." Eddie House or Mark Price? Really? I guess Kenny ate his words years after. Now Steph has one more championship than him, 2 MVPs, and is considered to be the greatest shooter of all time. That is why we should never judge someone by his looks alone. Before the boom of Twitter, this next analyst was already sharing his thoughts on the platform. He's considered to be the #1 hater of LeBron James, Skip Bayless. But this series of tweets weren't a diss on Steph, rather a praise on him. Like Blake Griffin, don't love him. Love Steph Curry. Will have an immediate impact. We are debating this today in Second Down. If I'm the Warriors, I do not trade Steph Curry. Thanks to the Thunder, Kings, and Timber Fools, a steal for Don Nelson's system. Yes, you read that right. Timber Fools. Skip Bayless was still with ESPN at this time debating with Stephen A. Smith. Of course, Stephen A. picked Blake because his whole argument was the game is built around big men. And he was right at the time, but Skip knew the game was going to evolve into a more pace and space style of play. Now, this next analyst works for NBC Sports today, and he was interviewed on the Dan Patrick Show. He was not so popular at the time, but became famous years after for all the wrong reasons. Doug Gottlieb was still working with ESPN in 2009 when he tweeted out this. Even though Steph declared for the draft, he doesn't have the upside of a Rubio, Jennings, Flynn, Mills, and Teague. All of those guards are more athletic. Interesting take, right? Rubio bounced around from team to team. Jennings is in China. Flynn just played a few seasons with the Timberwolves. Now he's nowhere near the NBA. Mills and Teague are still in the NBA, but rotation players at best. Now, Doug made a 360-degree turn on the Dan Patrick Show after the Warriors won back-to-back titles in 2017 and 2018. That's a big boy range, though, right there where you hit it. That's past the NBA 3 by a good 5 to 7 feet, right? Asked by Dan Patrick. It's great, though, when people tell me it takes a while to load up and then you process, wait, this is Stephen Curry on transition or off a crossover ready to shoot anytime. It's just ridiculous what he has done. He's a transcended player. He changed the way we view shooting. What's a good shot? What's a bad shot? If other players would take that shot, you're not saying, oh, that's going in. Steph has changed basketball in terms of how we view jump shooting, range, and what is and what's not in the bounds of a great shot. Dan Patrick followed up with a question after that. How is he going to affect kids who are not big, can't jump, not 7 feet tall, and slight in frame 10 years from now? I got trolled on Twitter when I tweeted that he's not good over Rubio, Flynn, and the other guards back then. There hasn't been a player like him who made it to the NBA. He's not physical, not an explosive athlete. I didn't know whether he can be a number one option for your franchise. Obviously, I was wrong on all those takes. I thought he was going to be a great role player, coming off the bench as a sixth man, just to be a good player, not a great player. We now show up to Warriors games to watch him warm up, to watch him work out, and it's good for the culture of the sport. Players now want to do what Steph is doing in terms of ball handling, passing, repetition of shooting, and sticking to a routine. Whether a kid can't make it or not, he has made an average kid dream of playing in the NBA. What are your thoughts on these analysts' comments about Steph Curry back then? Do you think Curry will go down as one of the best to have ever played? Tell us what you think in the comments down below, and once again, make sure to leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button. If you haven't watched my other video where I discuss what NBA players are actually saying about Steph Curry, be sure to check that out. I'm sure you'll like that one. That's it for me. Thank you for watching.